Get ready to be triggered.
I'm not sure I agree with this.
Oh, good. It'll be a good video.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Forest fires. So
They're real.
they're real. Trip got delayed a few weeks, so we had some Talking Heads videos, and this is something I was thinking about the other day, and we're gonna talk about why I think he might not agree with me, but why I think the entire concept of base weight is dumb and stupid. But first,
Yeah, like everything, follow everything, subscribe.
smash the buttons.
Hit the bell.
Check out the podcast. We go live. We got merch.
Yeah.
We don't have any Binford merch. Realized I was wearing that.
License.
I don't think it is. Anyway, check it out. Instagram. We got all fun stuff. We do fun things on Instagram. We go live all the time. Back to the video.
Okay.
Back to the video.
Let me give you my initial thoughts
Okay.
on why it's good and why it's bad.
Okay.
I think in the context that most people talk about base weight, it's from like a competitive aspect of like, check out my base weight. And
I think that's dumb.
Yeah, I think that's dumb. I think that's dumb. I think it can be good to always just kind of have an understanding of like where your markers are at and where you can improve.
Yeah.
Or like what's comfortable and what's not comfortable.
Yeah.
So I think it is important to like track your weight and know roughly where you're at. But like you shouldn't live your life by like making sure like you have the lowest possible base weight.
Well, many people do.
I know.
Because here is the crux of my argument on why base weight is dumb, and I actually think if you're going into a trip and you're going through loadout and everything, I think it's dumb to just look at base weight. I think you have to look at total pack weight, and here's the reason why I say this. On a backpacking trip that's more than one night, maybe let's take a trip of ours that's like 5 days. Our consumable weight is going to equal our base weight.
Yeah. In the consumable ways where we spend the most time trying to figure out.
And that is the kind of the point I'm getting to, is a lot of people spend a lot of energy honing down on their base weight. And there's another kind of rant I wanted to weave into this. A lot of people spend all this time and money whittling off their base weight when maybe they could lose a few pounds.
Oh my God. Oh,
I'm just saying it.
Actually, here's a funny example, and I'm going to call out ATOD for this in David Gray's when they were on that winds trip. So ATOD puts together he's got like a frameless pack, a really nice ULA pack, frameless. He's got a lowish base weight, and then they load up with like steaks and stuff. And he's carrying a frying pan.
Yeah.
And the first day, he's complaining about like how heavy the pack is, and it's just like, I mean, it's just a good example of like not spending all this time on your base weight and then you suddenly load yourself down with consumables, which isn't a bad thing.
No, that's the point I want to get to. But I had a mini rant on, people spend a lot of money and a lot of time getting their base weight down so that they can have a more enjoyable trip because it's easier. You can spend that time and far less money getting into better shape and maybe losing some weight. Let's take the weight loss out of it. If you just get in better physical shape, you'll be able to carry more weight and it will feel easier. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying there are other ways you can make your trip easier
rather than just
throwing money at getting lighter gear. But that was just a mini rant to the real rant of this video.
But half of the fun of backpacking is the gear.
I think it's more than half. Agreed. But the real rant here is getting technical with your total pack weight, and I will talk about what that means. That to me is potentially just as valuable as the term base weight. And here's what I mean by that. When we go on a super long trip, we are conscious of how we're packing our food, how much trash we're generating, what's the total pack volume of the things we're packing. All of these things have nothing to do with our base weight, but can play greatly into your total pack weight and how easy that pack feels like on your back.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody talks about that. It's all about I could cut my toothbrush in half.
Well, I mean,
save a few grams.
I mean, here's a good example. Like actually planning for.
How about bulk pack your meals?
Yeah, planning for the TRT. Like our pack decision wasn't made based off base weight. It was based off of how much volume of food we'd have to carry.
Yeah, exactly.
How long's our resupply? Are we gonna have to carry like 7 days of food? And if that's the case, we're taking our calls. But like, oh, you can get away with three days of food. Oh, I can probably, that volume I can fit into my normal size food bag, which I can put in my frameless pack.
Yep. So people just get like hyper focused on what is your base weight, and they kind of don't care about consumables. But you can be on a trip where the consumable and the non-base weight part of your pack is 50% of your pack weight. So maybe spend a little bit of time, and I'm talking about things like how you package your food, trash, that kind of stuff. I mean, how much water you're carrying at any given time. Like if you're carrying, you could get your base weight down to 9 pounds, but if you're carrying an extra liter of water you don't need the entire trip, that just added 2 pounds of weight you carried around.
Yeah.
And same with stove fuel. When you get technical with having to carry that the correct amount of all those things, then your total pack weight's going to get way more dialed in. Like I've never been on a trip and eaten all of the food I brought.
No, and that would be scary if you did.
But it's super inefficient to carry around all this food that I don't end up eating.
Right.
And carrying around all this water we don't end up drinking and that kind of stuff. So that is the first rant about why base weight is stupid. The second rant, and that you kind of started to go down this route, is people get hyper obsessed with base weight. And that can lead to potentially some poor decision making with regard to the gear you bring. And what I'm talking about is maybe you get so obsessed with base weight that you don't bring a satellite messenger and you're going out by yourself. Or maybe you're so obsessed with base weight that you don't bring the correct gear for the environment you're going into. Maybe you don't bring a heavy enough quilt, or maybe you don't bring warm enough clothes, or maybe you're not bringing a big enough shelter, purely from a base weight perspective. And when you get into those elements, you'll be like, oh my God, I would definitely trade 4 ounces for a heavier jacket right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a common one too is like pillows. I've noticed. Like I see a lot of people buying who initially bought like ultralight pillows. Like you can buy these like crazy like 1 ounce pillows that are inflatable with like a straw, and you carry the straw. I've had them before, and then like you use it like one night and you're just like, F this, man. I'll just
anything with sleeping. I don't care. We're taking the weight. But people get like, and like the backpacking community has perpetuated this, especially with things like lighter pack and there have obviously, as Andy talked about, there is value in getting your base weight low to what you're comfortable with. But like, there's no point in shedding off all that weight if you just are done with the consumables you bring.
Yeah, I kind of see it as more like, okay, like I typically carry like a 12-pound base weight. That's what I'm comfortable with my chair and all that stuff is typically like 11 to 12 probably with my hammock setup.
Yeah.
So then let's say I go out and buy a new piece of gear or a couple new pieces of gear. Then I could be like, okay, that's going to add like 4 or 5 pounds to my base weight. Am I comfortable on this type of trip, this type of length with an extra 4 to 5 pounds?
That's a lot of weight.
I know. It's extreme. Let's just say like, okay, I just
fair.
Like brought the...
He's bringing a Coleman stove.
I'm bringing the Coleman stove. All right. Am I comfortable
in a canvas tent?
In a canvas tent. Am I comfortable doing the TRT with a canvas tent and a Coleman stove?
That's fair. Okay.
Maybe
Probably
not.
Probably not. Finally, like, don't make the poor decision of leaving some sort of safety gear behind because it's going to add 5 ounces to your base weight. Like, I'm talking about things like if you're going by yourself, like an InReach or a sat messenger, or maybe even bringing like a power bank. Like a lot of people might hesitate to bring a power bank, but if you're dependent on your phone or other electronics like your headlamp, it's worth, a few ounces to your base weight to have that. Yeah. So don't make poor decisions just around keeping your base weight super low, and then also focus just as much on your total pack weight, because at the end of the day, that's literally what matters.
Yeah, I think you can do. I think you can do a lot of. If you're trying to shed pounds, if you focus on the consumables and how much water you're carrying, you can make a nice dent in it. If you're concerned about that type of thing,
absolutely. I think on a the longer your trip and the more consumable weight you bring, the more this matters. But I think on a 5 or 6 day trip, you can absolutely cut a few pounds off of your total base weight by dialing in how much water you're carrying, how much fuel you're bringing, and how you pack your food.
Yep.
And how much trash you generate as a result of how you pack your food.
Yep.
Like you can cut pounds off of your total base weight by looking at those things. So just, you know, I've been seeing all these like YouTube videos on my base weight.
Post your lighter pack.
Yeah, base weight. And like it is cool and it's, you know, it's good to be conscious of that. But at the end of the day, your base weight does not matter. It doesn't. It's your pack weight is what actually matters and is what actually is going to make a difference in you feeling good while you're out there hiking and crushing miles. So rant over. It's a good rant though.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to like talk about.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you could attack things in a different way. So.
Yep. All right, everybody. That is it. Thanks for listening to this rant. We've got some trips coming up. Just gotta let the smoke clear out a little bit. You know, the West is on fire right now. But that is it for this video. We'll see everybody later.
See ya.